Before we start the video today, I want to remind everybody to please come over to my Patreon channel. I have a brand new Patreon channel now. There's a brand new link right down below in the description box. So if you go to the old Patreon channel, it's not there. Go to the new Patreon channel, link down below. Make sure you come over, join it, because it helps to support the message, helps to support this channel. And I think it's really more important than ever that we really get the message out. So check the link down below in the description box. Come over to Patreon. And again, if you go to the old Patreon channel, it's not there. Go to the new one, join, subscribe today. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. I want to recap a little bit about what we saw in the markets yesterday, what's happening, what's going to happen. Dow Jones climbs 203 points after better than expected jobs report. S&P 500 rises for 7th straight day. The Russell, the S&P, NASDAQ, the Dow, everything at record highs. We are in the land of euphoria, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen anything like it. And I know people are ecstatic. They're jumping for joy. They're making money, and they believe that there's absolutely no risk, no danger in these markets. And I totally disagree. Look, markets are going to continue to go up. There's no doubt about it. They just passed the $1.4 trillion infrastructure bill. There is going to be massive money printing, okay? Markets are going to go up. Inflation is going to continue to soar. Now we're going to see guaranteed inflation heading into 2022 without a doubt. With this infrastructure bill that's just been passed, you can guarantee, you can bet your bottom dollar that there is going to be more continued inflation coming into 2022. Job creation roars back in October as payrolls rise by 531,000. Again, the euphoria, this utopia that we're in, these jobs that they tell us, this is not job creation. This is old jobs that people are returning to. We're not seeing real job creation. We're just seeing old jobs where now people are forced to return to because the stimmies are done, the unemployment benefits are done, people's unemployment has expired. They're being forced to go back to these jobs, many in the service sector. And we'll talk about that, where these jobs are. Strong jobs report shows economy back on track for further growth. CNBC, you got to be kidding me. This thing is so far off the rails. This economy is dead on arrival. There's no doubt. Again, this isn't job growth. This is people returning to old jobs because the free money is running out or has run out. And just getting back to what I opened with on this video, these markets, the stock market, this thing, I'm telling you, as people just think this is going to go on forever, there's no danger, there's no risk ahead, nobody can lose, it's going to go up forever, there won't even be a correction. Some people just don't even believe. I mean, we're going on 13 years, ladies and gentlemen, 13 years without a correction. We're printing money hand over fist. The debts and deficits are inflating to numbers we never even thought humanly possible. You're looking at global debt. You're looking at this shipping dilemma that we have, this meltdown, the supply chain breakdown, meltdown, call it whatever you want. We've never seen anything like this. And we are now so dependent as a nation on other countries. This is really an incredible time, and a time where you really better be preparing. Let's talk about where the jobs are. And this chart comes from CNBC. Of course, it's always Old Faithful, leisure and hospitality. 164,000 jobs in leisure and hospitality. 120,000 of those jobs were in food services and drinking places. So more waiters, waitresses, bartenders, coffee makers, etc. 2.4 million jobs have been added in leisure and hospitality thus far in 2021, but we're down 1.4 million jobs in leisure and hospitality since February of 2020. We go to professional and business services. That sector added 100,000 jobs in October, including a gain of 41,000 temporary health services. Manufacturing added 60,000 down 270,000 since February of 2020. See, this is the big problem here. And this is why when this whole thing implodes, we're going to be in very serious trouble, because we don't manufacture anything. We can't make coffee cups for restaurants. We can't make straws. We can't make styrofoam cartons. We can't make napkins. We're dependent on all the material. If we do make it here, we're dependent on the material to get here to make it. And so we can't even make paper coffee cups and straws at this point. And restaurants now are feeling the pain because of that. Transport and warehouse increased. We move on to construction. Construction jobs rose by 44,000 in October, 150,000 below its February 2020 level. Healthcare added 37,000 jobs. Get this, healthcare, with everything that's happening, healthcare is down 460,000 jobs since February of 2020. Most of these jobs that were added were in-home care services and nursing facilities, not the most high-paying jobs, ladies and gentlemen. And when we look at a lot of these jobs in healthcare, we look at the jobs in manufacturing, transport, warehouse, we look at the jobs in leisure and hospitality. These are not high-paying jobs. They're just not high-paying jobs. Retail trade added 35,000 jobs in October, more low-paying jobs. Retail trade is down 140,000 jobs since February 2020. Other service industry added 33,000 jobs. It's 169,000 jobs lower than it was in February of 2020. These are your personal and laundry service type jobs, not high-paying jobs. Again, we don't have a lot of really good manufacturing jobs left in America. We don't have a lot of real, high-paying jobs here in America. Yeah, some of these jobs are good jobs, but a majority of them, 160,000 of them are in the service sector. And you look at healthcare, and you look at retail, and you look at the other service industry. These are not high-paying jobs. Wholesale trade added 14,000. It's 158,000 lower than February of 2020. So we are nowhere near even where we were a year ago, let alone 2 years ago. So that's what's happening in the job market. Take it for what it is. A lot of people are excited, exuberant that they think things are doing great in the job market. I disagree. When you look at these numbers, here's an article from The Hedge today. 4% of Americans say they've quit their jobs thanks to crypto gains. A majority of these people made under $50,000. And a majority of these people are low wage earners now who've got, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 that they made in cryptos. They're retiring. They've quit their jobs. They're not Bitcoin millionaires, ladies and gentlemen, and they're quitting their jobs. They now think that they're big shots. They're rich because they've got an extra 30,000, so they don't have to go back to work. These people have no idea what is coming. They have no idea what they're doing. And this is, again, this group of people who are very unsophisticated with finances. They gambled on some cryptos, just like anybody could go gamble at the racetrack, gamble at Vegas, and then they just go, I've got 30,000. I guess I don't have to go back to work. They have no idea how fast this cash will run out and how fast they're going to have to go back to work. And many of them will probably take the money and continue to gamble in cryptos. Many of them will lose. When I read that article, I was shocked. You know, if you gambled on some cryptos and you made yourself $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, wow, that's fantastic. Imagine if you're working right now and you can just put that money away and not burn through it. But many of these people, because of the society we live in today, just believe that easy money just is easy to make and that they're just going to double back down into cryptos and make more. Maybe some of them will. But what happens when they don't? We've seen what has happened to many of these cryptos, and it's just shocking, the mentality today, that this belief of just living for today, don't worry about tomorrow, live for today, gamble everything. This is not investing. This is purely gambling. And when you look at some of the other news stories, global food prices hit fresh decade high in October. Look, this is all the more reason that if you're making some money, you need to be protecting your wealth. You need to be working a job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, continue to take advantage of the opportunity out there with some of these jobs. They may not be the highest paying jobs, but if you're just sitting at home, not doing anything, that first off is not productive mentally, it's not productive physically, it's not productive financially. Take advantage of some of the opportunity, go make some money. And if you've already made some money in cryptos, God bless you. Why touch that money when you go out and make some more money in the real world and stockpile that money, maybe take some of that money, buy real assets and protect yourself from what's coming. But instead, most people will take that money and they're gonna burn right through it. This is the big shot mentality today. Average new vehicle price spikes 19% in 10 months to $44,000. Unit sales tick up, but still down 34% from March. How in the world can these markets be up when you see what is happening in the auto sector? Sales down 34% from March. Average vehicle price $44,000. Average median income of an American is $34,000. The average median income can't even buy the average new car. The average new car is more than the average median income. I mean, just think about those numbers. It's crazy. It's crazy. And yet, markets across the board at record highs, across the board. It's stunning to watch what is taking place. And yet there's no risk, no fear out there. And that's the scariest thing. When people ignore the risk, ignore fear, this is when things get very, very scary. Because you know, as well as I do, most of you watching this video know that this is not going to go on forever, that something big is going to happen to these markets. Yes, I do believe they're going to go up for some time, no doubt about it. But you don't know what can come out of left field. You don't know what's happening. Nobody knows what's happening in China right now with these development companies and what we could wake up to. But what I do know, the more these markets go up, the more inflation we're going to see, because this is all artificially injected, right? This is all the product of artificial injections and low interest rates. And now we're going to be pumping in another $1.4 trillion. U.S. trade deficit hits record $809 billion in September. We have a national debt now approaching $30 trillion. But just think about that. The U.S. debt deficit hit a record $809 billion in September. So we have records on the stock market. We have a record national debt approaching 30 trillion. We have a national deficit now of 809 billion. Records all across the board. But we're going to see reality, ladies and gentlemen, at some point. U.S. credit card debt soars back over $1 trillion. Why, if everybody's going back to work, if everything is so great and everybody's making so much money in the stock market, why is credit card debt soaring? Auto and college debt is now at $3.357 trillion, right? Nothing to worry about. Usage of credit cards among the lower cohort has spiked with a 23% growth rate over a 2-year period. Debit card spending has slowed notably over the last several weeks. Well, of course, because people have less money in their bank accounts. September, total consumer credit soared by $29.9 billion, almost double the $16 billion expected and well more than 100% higher compared to August. So, you know, when you start reading the data here, and you start looking at real inflation at 13.5%, and you look at this number right here, 100,450,000 people, more than 100 million people not in the labor force for 14th straight month, no job and not looking. That's the title of this article right here. 100,450,000, more than 100 million not in labor force for 14th straight month. So I guess everybody's just enjoying their crypto revenues, or they're still living off of the benefits and the old stimmies. But how long does this last? How long does this last? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful 86 degrees here in Palm Desert, California. Absolutely stunning. It's peaceful, birds are out, people are golfing, it's a beautiful day. But let me tell you, I'm very worried. Very worried. I'm very concerned, and I think that this is a time that everybody better start worrying. I think anybody in their right mind has got to be a bit concerned with what they're seeing happen. I mean, records across the board, debts across the board, deficits across the board. people not in the labor market, 100 million people. Yeah, there's people that are retired, people who are in college, we get it, but we've never seen a number this high ever before. We have a lot of people staying at home for many different reasons, but this is just not normal. What we're seeing is not normal. We have so many people now gambling in these markets, so many people taking every dime that they have and throwing them in these markets, into cryptos, because they cannot earn any interest with their bank, although your bank charges you 24% to use a credit card, while they borrow money for next to nothing. We have so many people now reliant on these markets. And if these markets sneeze, they just sneeze, people are going to get wiped out. And if these markets really get sick, people are going to be, they're going to be destroyed. Everything they have will be destroyed. They'll lose their houses, their cars, their futures, everything. They'll never come back. So don't be greedy, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in these markets, take some of that money and make sure you're putting some cash away. Make sure you're putting real assets like gold and silver away. Hey, look, if you want to gamble in the markets, you want to gamble in the cryptos, hey, that's on you. That's cool. No big deal. Just make sure you can afford to gamble. There's too many people that are gambling with money they cannot afford to lose. Now, look, I can afford to be wrong. The question is, can you afford for me to be right? And that's the question. Because if these markets go, everything is going to go with them, including many people watching this video today. So be careful, be cautious. God bless you all. I look forward to talking with all of you very, very soon. Have a good weekend. God bless.